blessing of Enoch, wherewith he blessed the elect and righteous.
Directly quoted in Scripture in the book of Jude, and it's alluded to in the book of Jude.
Heaven, hell, time, space, dimensions, angels, demons, even the mystery religions all thrown at you at the very beginning as one big bang. That's what the book of Enoch is. I'm going to do my best to take you step by step through it. Buckle your seatbelts, boys and girls. Heaven.
All right, let's see if anybody gets in here. I can get some people in here with me. See if anybody wants to get in here and listen to this. See if we can't get somebody to come in here, and we'll do this video. Just to kind of give you an idea. going on? How you doing? If you ever talk about do a little religion and figure out what the hell they lie to you, huh? So you're afraid to be in here. That's cool.
The Book of Enoch. The words of the blessing of Enoch, wherewith he blessed the elect and righteous, who will be living in the day of tribulation, when all the wicked and godless are to be removed. And he took up this parable and said, Enoch, a righteous man, whose eyes were opened by God, saw the vision of the Holy One in the heavens, which the angels showed me. And from them I heard everything, and from them I understood as I saw. But not for this generation, but for a remote one which is for to come. Concerning the elect I said, and took up my parable concerning them. The Holy Great One will come forth from his dwelling, and the eternal God will tread upon the earth, even on Mount Sinai, and appear from his camp, and appear in the strength of his might from the heaven of heavens. And all shall be smitten with fear, and the watchers shall quake, and great fear and trembling shall seize them unto the ends of the earth.
Good evening,
and the high mountain shall be shaken, and the high hills shall be made low, and shall melt like wax before the flame. And the earth shall be wholly rent and sunder, and all that is upon the earth shall perish, and there shall be a judgment upon all men. But with the righteous he will make peace, and will protect the elect, and mercy shall be upon them. And they shall all belong to God, and they shall be prospered, and they shall all be blessed. And he will help them all. And light shall appear unto them, and he will make peace with them. And behold, he cometh with 10,000s of his holy ones to execute judgment upon all, and to destroy all the ungodly, and to convict all flesh of all the works of their ungodliness which they have ungodly committed, and of all the hard things which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. Observe ye everything that takes place in the heaven, how they do not change their orbits, and the luminaries which are in the heaven, how they all rise and set in order, each in its season, and transgress not against their appointed order. Behold ye the earth, and give heed to the things which take place upon it from first to last, how steadfast they are.
You should really listen to this.
Things upon the earth change, but all the works of God appear to you.
Listen to the stuff he
describes. The summer, the winter, how the whole earth is filled with water and clouds and dew, and rain lie upon it. Observe and see how in the winter all the trees seem as though they had withered and shed all their leaves, except 14 trees which do not lose their foliage, but retain the old foliage from 2 to 3 years, till the new comes.
Imagine
and again, observe ye the days of summer, how the sun is above the earth, over against it, and you seek shade and shelter by reason of the heat of the sun. And the earth also burns with glowing heat, and so you cannot tread on the earth, or on a rock, by reason of its heat. Observe ye how the trees cover themselves with green leaves and bear fruit. Wherefore give ye heed, and know with regard to all his works, and recognize how he that liveth forever hath made them so. And all his works go on thus from year to year forever, and all the tasks which they accomplish for him, and their tasks change not, but according as God hath ordained, so it is done. And behold how the sea and the rivers in like manner accomplish and change not their tasks from his commandments. But ye have not been steadfast, nor done the commandments of the Lord. But ye have turned away and spoken proud and hard words with your impure mouths against his greatness.
The book of Enoch.
O ye hard-hearted, ye shall find no peace. Therefore shall you execrate your days, and the years of your life shall perish, and the years of your destruction shall be multiplied in eternal execration, and ye shall find no mercy. In those days you shall make your names an eternal execration unto all the righteous, and by you shall all who curse, and all the sinners and godless shall imprecate by you. And for you, the godless, there shall be a curse, and all the shall rejoice, and there shall be forgiveness of sins, and every mercy and peace and forbearance. There shall be salvation unto them.
This is the book of Enoch.
Goodly light. And for all of you sinners, there shall be no salvation.
You know how when you go to church, your pastor tells you should search out God, you need to find and discover Him.
And joy and peace, and they shall inherit the earth.
That's what this is.
And then there shall be bestowed
This is about a man mentioned in the Bible one time.
And they shall all live and never again sin.
Only one time.
Either through ungodliness or through pride. But they who are wise shall be humble.
And this is someone pastors don't even know about.
Nor shall they sin
I've
all
not
the
met
days
one
of
yet
their
that does.
life.
They can
Nor
tell me
shall they
anything about this
die
guy.
of divine anger or wrath. But they shall complete the number of the days of their life. And their life shall be increased in peace. And the years of their joy shall be multiplied in eternal gladness and peace, all the days of their life. A fragment from the book of Noah. And it came to pass, when the children of men had multiplied, that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. And the angels, the children of the heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. And Simjaza was their leader, and said unto them, I fear you will not indeed agree to do this deed, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin. And they all answered him and said, Let us all swear an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecations not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. Then swear they all together, and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And they were in all 200 who descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon, and they called it Mount Hermon because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And these are the names of their leaders: Simeazaz their leader, Arakiba, Ramael, Kokabeel, Tamiel, Ramiel, Danel, Ezekiel, Barakihal, Asael, Almaros, Batarel, Ananel, Zakiel, Samsapel, Satarel, Turel, Jomjael, Sarael. These are the chiefs of tens. And all the others together with them took unto themselves wives, and each chose for himself one. And they began to go in unto them, and to defile themselves with them. And they taught them charms and enchantments, and the cutting of roots, and made them acquainted with plants. And they became pregnant, and bare great giants, whose height was 3,000 ells, who consumed all the acquisitions of men. And when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them, and devoured mankind. And they began to sin against birds, and beasts, and reptiles, and fish, and to devour one another's flesh, and to drink the blood. Then the earth laid accusation against the lawless ones. And Azazel taught men to make swords, and knives, and shields, and breastplates, and made known to them the metals of the earth, and the art of working them, and bracelets, and ornaments, and the use of antimony, and the beautifying of the eyelids, and all kinds of costly stones, and all coloring tinctures. And there arose much godlessness, and they committed fornication, and they were led astray, and became corrupt in all their ways. Simjaza taught enchantments and root cuttings, Armoros the resolving of enchantments, Barakihal taught astrology, Kokabel the constellations, Ezekiel the knowledge of the clouds, Arakiel the signs of the earth, Shamsiel the signs of the sun, and Sariel the course of the moon. And as men perished, they cried, and their cry went up to heaven. And then Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel looked down from heaven and saw much blood being shed upon the earth, and all lawlessness being wrought upon the earth. And they said to one another, The earth, made without inhabitant, cries the voice of their crying up to the gates of heaven. And now to you, the holy ones of heaven, the souls of men make their suit, saying, Bring our cause before the Most High. And they said to the Lord of the ages, Lord of lords, God of gods, King of kings, and God of the ages, the throne of thy glory standeth unto all the generations of the ages, and thy name holy and glorious and blessed unto all the ages. Thou hast made all things, and power over all things hast thou. And all things are naked and open in thy sight, and thou seest all things, and nothing can hide itself from thee. Thou seest what Azazel has done, who hath taught all unrighteousness on earth, and revealed the eternal secrets which were preserved in heaven, which men were striving to learn. And Semjaza, to whom thou hast given authority to bear rule over his associates, and they have gone unto the daughters of men upon the earth, and have slept with the women, and have defiled themselves, and revealed to them all kinds of sins. And the women have borne giants, and the whole earth has thereby been filled with blood and unrighteousness. And now, behold, the souls of those who have died are crying and making their suit to the gates of heaven, and their lamentations have ascended, and cannot cease because of the lawless deeds which are wrought on the earth. And thou knowest all things before they come to pass, and thou seest these things, and thou dost suffer them, and thou dost not say to us what we are to do to them in regard to these.
Take the pillow out of the
Then said the Most High, the Holy and Great One, spake, and sent Uriel to the son of Lamech, and said to him, Go to Noah, and tell him in my name, hide thyself, and reveal to him the end that is approaching, that the whole world will be destroyed, and a deluge is about to come upon the whole earth, and will destroy all that is on it. And now instruct him that he may escape, and his seed may be preserved for all generations of the world. And again the Lord said to Raphael, Bind Azazel hand and foot, and cast him into the darkness, and make an opening in the desert, which is in Dudael, and cast him therein. And place upon him rough and jagged rocks, and cover him with darkness, and let him abide there forever. And cover his face, that he may not see light. And on the day of the great judgment he shall be cast into the fire. And heal the earth, which the angels have corrupted, and proclaim the healing of the earth, that they may heal the plague, and that all the children of men may not perish through all the secret things that the watchers have disclosed and taught their sons. And the whole earth has been corrupted through the works that were taught by Azazel. To him ascribe all sin. And to Gabriel said the Lord, Proceed against the bastards and the reprobates, and against the children of fornication, and destroy the children of fornication and the children of the watchers from amongst men, and cause them to go forth. Send them one against the other, that they may destroy each other in battle. For length of days shall they not have. And no request that their fathers make of thee shall be granted unto them on their behalf, for they hope to live an eternal life, and that each one of them will live 500 years. And the Lord said unto Michael, Go, bind Semjaza and his associates who have united themselves with women so as to have defiled themselves with them in all their uncleanness. And when their sons have slain one another, and they have seen the destruction of their beloved ones, bind them fast for 70 generations in the valleys of the earth, till the day of judgment and of their consummation, till the judgment that is forever and ever is consummated. In those days they shall be led off to the abyss of fire, and to the torment and the prison in which they shall be confined forever. And whosoever shall be condemned and destroyed will from thenceforth be bound together with them to the end of all generations, and destroy all the spirits reprobate, and the children of the watchers, because they have wronged mankind. Destroy wrong from the face of the earth, and let every evil work come to an end, and let the plant of righteousness and truth appear, and it shall prove a blessing. The works of righteousness and truth shall be planted in truth and joy forevermore. And then shall all the righteous escape, and shall live till they beget thousands of children, and all the days of their youth and their old age shall be completed in peace. And then shall the whole earth be tilled in righteousness, and shall all be planted with trees, and be full of blessing, and all desirable trees shall be planted on it, and they shall plant vines on it, and the vine which they plant thereon shall yield wine in abundance. And as for all the seed which is sown thereon, each measure of it shall bear 1,000, and each measure of olive shall yield 10 presses of oil. And cleanse thou the earth from all oppression, and from all unrighteousness, and from all sin, and from all godlessness, and all uncleanness that is wrought upon the earth, destroy from off the earth. And all the children of men shall become righteous, and all nations shall offer adoration and praise me, and all shall worship me. And the earth shall be cleansed from all defilement, and from all sin, and from all punishment, and from all torment, and I will never again send them upon it from generation to generation forever. And in those days I will open the store chambers of blessing which are in the heaven, so as to send them down upon the earth over the work and labor of the children of men. And truth and peace shall be associated together throughout all the days of the world, and throughout all the generations of men. Into the fragment of Noah. Book of Enoch. Before these things Enoch was hidden, and no one of the children of men knew where he was hidden, and where he abode, and what had become of him, and his activities had to do with the watchers, and his days were with the holy ones. And I, Enoch, was blessing the Lord of majesty, and the King of the ages, and lo, the watchers called me, Enoch the scribe, and said to me, Enoch, thou scribe of righteousness, go declare to the watchers of heaven who have left the high heaven, the holy eternal place, and have defiled themselves with women, and have done as the children of earth do, and have taken unto themselves wives. Ye have wrought great destruction on the earth, and ye shall have no peace nor forgiveness of sin. And inasmuch as they delight themselves in their children, the murder of their beloved ones shall they see, and over the destruction of their children shall they lament, and shall make supplication unto eternity. But mercy and peace shall ye not attain. And Enoch went and said, Azazel, thou shalt have no peace. A severe sentence has gone forth against thee to put thee in bonds, and thou shalt not have toleration, nor request granted to thee, because of the unrighteousness which thou hast taught, and because of all the works of godlessness and unrighteousness and sin which thou hast shown to men. Then I went and spoke to them all together, and they were all afraid, and fear and trembling seized them. And they besought me to draw up a petition for them, that they might find forgiveness, and to read their petition in the presence of the Lord of heaven. For from thenceforward they could not speak with him, nor lift up their eyes to heaven for shame of their sins for which they had been condemned. Then I wrote out their petition, and the prayer in regard to their spirits, and their deeds individually, and in regard to their requests, that they should have forgiveness and length. And I went off and sat down at the waters of Dan, in the land of Dan, to the south of the west of Hermon. And I read their petition till I fell asleep. And behold, a dream came to me, and visions fell down upon me. And I saw visions of chastisement, and a voice came bidding me to tell it to the sons of heaven, and to reprimand them. And when I awaked, I came unto them, and they were all sitting gathered together, weeping in Abel's-Gel, which is between Lebanon and Senneser, with their faces covered. And I recounted before them all the visions which I had seen in sleep. And I began to speak the words of righteousness, and to reprimand the heavenly watchers. The book of the words of righteousness, and of the reprimand of the eternal watchers, in accordance with the command of the Holy Great One in that vision. I saw in my sleep what I will now say with a tongue of flesh, and with the breath of my mouth, which the Great One has given to men to converse therewith, and understand with the heart. As he has created and given to man the power of understanding the word of wisdom, so hath he created me also, and given me the power of reprimanding the watchers, the children of heaven. I wrote out your petition, and in my vision it appeared thus, that your petition will not be granted unto you throughout all the days of eternity, and that judgment has been finally passed upon you. Yea, your petition will not be granted unto you, and from henceforth you shall not ascend into heaven unto all eternity. And in bonds of the earth the decree has gone forth to bind you for all the days of the world. and that previously you shall have seen the destruction of your beloved sons, and ye shall have no pleasure in them, but they shall fall before you by the sword. And your petition on their behalf shall not be granted, nor yet on your own, even though you weep and pray and speak all the words contained in the
Now
writing
the
which I
towners
have
broke.
written.
There's been like
And the
6
vision
people in
was
here.
shown to me thus.
Huh?
Behold, in the vision clouds invited me, and a mist summoned me. And the course of the stars and the lightning sped and hastened me, and the winds in the vision caused me to fly and lifted me upward,
How you
and bore
doing?
me into heaven. And I went
In case
in
you're wondering,
till I
it's a
drew
book of
nigh to
Enoch.
a wall, which is built of crystals and surrounded by tongues of fire. And it began to affright me. And I went into the tongues of fire and
Takes
drew
a while.
near
Takes a
to a
while to
large
listen to this.
house,
That's 3.5
built of
hours long, this
crystals.
thing.
And the walls of the house were like a tessellated floor made of crystals, and its groundwork was of crystal, and its ceiling was like the path of the stars and the lightnings, and between them were fiery cherubim, and their heaven was clear as water. A flaming fire surrounded the walls, and its portals blazed with fire. And I entered into that house, and it was hot as fire and cold as ice, and there were no delights of life therein. Fear covered.
How you doing? What's up?
Words of a Bible or an ancient text of any type, really. In Robert's case, particularly, it just blew me away when I first talked to him about the Book of Enoch, but almost looking at these texts as if they're not only literal, but also every part of it being keywords that interact with each other. Would that be a fair statement? Am I even describing it accurately, Robert?
Well, you're describing it, but that's really not the half of it. Everything in the Bible is parabolic. It isn't to say that it didn't happen in reality. Like, in fact, let me kind of give you a paradigm here. If you're looking at Jesus, for example, right, then what Jesus does as a man parallels what he does as the Logos, right? In other words, if Jesus, the man, comes down and heals people's physical eyes, right, he, as the Logos, comes down to heal men's spiritual eyes. If a person were to believe you, and this is what I'm getting at, if a person were to believe you that Enoch was the seventh from Adam, that he did prophesy because his words were prophetic, if you didn't believe Jude because Peter, apparently the question is brought to Peter, hey, Jude is quoting all of this apocryphal stuff. What do you think about that? But what should we tell people who ask us about it, right? And Peter's thinking about it, and he knows that he's read the book of Enoch just as Jude has. Jude's quoting Enoch 1:9. What's it say in Enoch 1:1 through 3? It says, the words of the blessing of Enoch were with to bless the elect and righteous who will be living in the day of tribulation when all the wicked and the godly sort of be removed. And he took the parabolic, and said, Enoch, a righteous man, whose eyes were opened by God, saw the vision of the Holy One in the heavens. The angel showed me, and from them I heard everything, and from them I understood as I saw. But not for this generation, so this generation is excluded, right? But for a remote one. Once again, just for future time. Concerning the elect, I said, I took my parable concerning them. That book was never meant to be canonized, period. And Peter knew this. Just like I was telling you about the Ark of the Covenant the other day, you have this box of 3 covenants in the book of Hebrews that tells you that there are 3 symbolic items in there, just showing you the future in parables. To be understood, of course, in retrospect. Because that was the way the Ark of the Covenant was laid out. There were 3 symbolic items, right? There was the table of the law, there was Aaron's rod, which budded, and then there was the golden jar of hidden manna, right? A prefiguring of the fact that there are going to be 3 stages of revelation in God's Word. There was a table of the law, which corresponded to the Old Testament.
Yeah.
And then Aaron's rod. Aaron was Moses' brother. Aaron was the Levitical high priest. He was the chief speaker of the 2.
Aaron's rod was the rod that was thrown down in front of the Egyptian magicians, and their rods turned into serpents, and his rod turned into a serpent and ate the other serpents. It was buried. When it was dug back up, it had budded or borne fruit. His rod represents Jesus Christ.
His word, if you will, were hard to understand. There was a veil over people's eyes when they listened. That veil was the flesh because they saw it on the fleshly level.
The jar of sweet manna represents when the Hebrews were in the desert, the manna would come for 6 days. And on the 6th day, they would have to collect. They would get a double portion for the day of rest that was coming.
Whatever.
Here's what it means, basically. There is a time for us to not know the answer, and then there is a time for us to know the answer. Remember that Jesus, as the Logos, is railroaded by the religious authorities, and tried for the secular authorities, right? Tried before Pontius Pilate, who was the secular authority.
The word logos means the Word of God. In John 1:1 it says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." And then down in 1:14, the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. So this place, the very fabric matrix of this place, right, coming from a larger place, God Himself became flesh and dwelt among us. That's what's being directly stated.
This is why they had to get rid of those books. This is why they had to persecute the so-called heretics. Nobody who knew this stuff could be allowed to live and to pass it on.
So the allegations against Jesus brought by His enemies were not only that He was healing people, that was their allegation, but that He was doing it on the wrong days. And all four accounts, and it's unheard of for any human being, especially during that time period where it's difficult even to have a piece of paper. He's covered from 4 different perspectives by 4 different men, and in all 4 accounts, He's resurrected from the dead. More than this, a man born, a physical body, born of no social class, is covered more than any king or human being that has ever lived or breathed or walked on the empires of this earth.
See what I'm saying? People run around in the early church and they can tell you just what I'm telling you now. Now imagine the scenario.
Wow. Wait a second. Let's say that again. Bottom line, the little bitty physical world is couched in this much larger spiritual reality. It's probably why it's called history. His story. And you're living a part of that. Here's what Enoch said.
"And again I saw with mine eyes as I slept, and I saw the heaven above. And behold, a star fell from heaven."
The star that fell represents Lucifer. And in this vision, he's going to take you from the first generation kind to the very last.
"And behold, I saw many stars descend and cast themselves down from heaven to that first star. And they became bulls among those cattle, and they pastured with them."
So the stars that followed represents the fallen angels, a portion of which made entrance to this place.
"And began to cover the cows of the oxen, and they all became pregnant, and bare elephants, camels, and asses.
They let out their privy members, and the bulls became pregnant, the elephants and the asses and these other things. These are the anomalies that the angels, the fallen angels, gave birth to.
And I saw one of those 4 who had come forth first, and he seized that first star which had fallen from the heaven, and bound it hand and foot, and cast it into an abyss. And I was beholding in the vision, lo, one of those 4 who had come forth stoned them from heaven, and gathered and took all the great stars whose privy members were like those of horses, and bound them all hand and foot, and cast them into an abyss of the earth.
So those fallen angels get yanked up by something stronger than them, and you could view this like dimensions, right? And they get tossed into a place that is devoid off of this place, probably why they're still suctioning off of it, right? You decide what you let in and what you broadcast out, so they're still yelping from down there.
And the water, the darkness, and mist increased.
This is the book of Enoch. This explains what the Bible doesn't with Genesis and everything because it's so vague. This is the book they took out.
And was streaming over that enclosure, and it stood upon the earth.
And this is why they took it out, because it explains everything.
Were gathered together until I saw how they sank and were swallowed up and perished in that water. But that vessel floated on the water, while all the oxen and elephants and camels and asses sank to the bottom with all the animals, so that I could no longer see them, and they were not able to escape, but perished and sank into the depths.
So that's the flood and the ark. It takes everything down to zero, wipes them all out.
Then the water began to run down into these, till the earth became visible. But that vessel settled on the earth, and the darkness retired, and light appeared. But that white bull which had become a man came out of that vessel, and the 3 bulls with him.
That's Noah, the white bull, and his 3 baby bulls, so his 3 sons that go out from the ark.
And one of those 3 was white like that bull, and one of them was red as blood, and one black, and that white bull departed from them. And they began to bring forth beasts in the field and birds, so that there arose different generations, tigers, wolves, dogs, hyenas, wild boars, foxes, squirrels, swine, falcons, vultures, kites, eagles, and ravens.
And then from the bulls, the sons of Noah, you have all of these different cultures that spin off, these different animal types.
And they began to fight one another. But that white bull which was born amongst them begat a wild ass, and white bull with it.
Now from the mix of the massive cultures and animals that came forth, you have another white bull that comes forth. That's Abraham.
And the wild asses multiplied. But that white bull which was born from him begat a black wild boar and a white sheep. And the former begat many boars, but that sheep begat 12 sheep.
The white bull, Abraham, goes Isaac, Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, right? And he has 12 baby sheep. And those are the sons of Israel.
And when those 12 sheep had grown, they gave up one of them to the asses. And those asses again gave up that sheep to the wolves. And that sheep grew up among the wolves. And the Lord brought the 11 sheep to live with it, and to pasture with it among the wolves. And they multiplied, and became many flocks of sheep.
That text is so awesome. If we were to keep reading, it would take us straight through Jesus Christ, the Son of Man, the Lord of the sheep, the one for whom salvation comes not only to the righteous before his coming, but also all those afterwards.
And the spirit of those who have fallen asleep in righteousness. And he shall judge the secret things, and none shall be able to utter a lying word before him. For he is the elect one before the Lord of spirits, yet through his name they shall be saved.
Ultimately, leading to the end when all
this
of the
here is
wild animals,
the book of Enoch.
Those that sought righteousness, the elect, all become
man mentioned in the Bible
before the Holy of Holies,
stood before God and talked to him about the fallen angels trying to get him back into heaven. They didn't want to go.
For reading that entire
I said no. So this is what this is. This explains
And in those days shall the mountains
everything. It fills in a bunch of gaps. This is just a little piece. This isn't even the book.
With milk, and the faces of all the angels in heaven shall be lighted up with joy, and the earth shall rejoice.
Robert.
This guy's name is Trey Smith, the one talking.
He used to actually be an atheist until he got a hold of some of these ancient documents and was looking at them. His website is scripturaltruth.com. So
I don't pay attention to none of that.
.com. Please go over and check him out.
Because
I've got on the phone with me Dr. Walt Brown.
Everybody that designed
of the book in the beginning.
all that
crap.
Literal they all put limitations,
page after page after page of illustrations,
and they're fucked up views.
Sold hundreds of thousands of copies of this book, but more than that,
God tells you to search him out.
Walt Brown has spent about 40 years, maybe more than this, of his
life know what's in that Bible.
Studying the flood account. Walt,
and the problem with this
Dr. Walt Brown, I guess the question on my mind would be,
everything going on today is all connected to everything.
That is correct. One humorous kind of example.
the Chinese, ancient Chinese language, the classical Chinese language,
Right.
Is built out of pictographs, little symbols that when you piece them together tells a story.
Sure, like hieroglyphs.
The story gives a word. Well, the Chinese word for boat, and I have a picture in my book, you can use it if you like. The Chinese word for boat is composed of the three symbols: 8, people or mouths, and this classical Chinese language goes back thousands of years.
We can see on our planet 17 very strange features which can now be systematically explained as a result of a cataclysmic global flood whose waters erupted from subterranean chambers with an energy release exceeding the explosion of 10 billion hydrogen bombs. This explanation shows us just how rapidly major mountains formed. It explains the coal and oil deposits, the rapid continental drift, why on the ocean floor there are huge trenches and hundreds of canyons and volcanoes. It explains the formation of the layered strata and most of the fossils, the frozen mammoths, and major land canyons, especially the Grand Canyon. Increasing pressure in the subterranean water stretched the crust just as a balloon stretches when the pressure inside increases. Failure in the crust began with a microscopic crack which grew in both directions at about 3 miles per second. The crack, following the path of least resistance, encircled the globe in about 2 hours. As the crack raced around the Earth, the overlying rock crust opened up like a rip in a tightly stretched cloth. The subterranean water was under extreme pressure because of the weight of the 10 miles of rock pressing down on it. So the water exploded violently out of the rupture. All along this globe-encircling rupture, fountains of water jetted supersonically almost 20 miles into the atmosphere. The high-pressure fountains eroded the rock on both sides of the crack, producing huge volumes of sediments that settled out of this muddy water all over the Earth. These sediments trapped and buried plants and animals. This erosion widened the rupture.
This explains how we have all the continents. It was one big landmass. This is what split it into all these other things.
Giving birth to the mid-oceanic ridge that wraps around the Earth like the seam of a baseball and buckled. The portions of the hydroplate that buckled down formed ocean trenches. Those that buckled upward formed mountains. This is why the major mountain chains are parallel to the oceanic ridges from which they slid.
That's called hydroplate theory that he was just discussing there. And at first, when that was proposed 15, 20 years ago to the scientific geological community, they were very resistant. Well, they disagreed with the models that they had already given a thumbs up. But it is true. It does appear to be true that there have been discovery after discovery, as fate and coincidence would have it, that might tend to favor Dr. Brown's hydroplate.
Having served as director of one of the United States Defense Department's major research and development laboratories, Dr. Walter Brown comes with an impressive list of credentials.
This is the question that stops most scientific investigators dead in their tracks. Yet the hydroplate theory makes the answer obvious. As the hydroplates crashed, they thickened and rose out of the water, forcing the floodwaters over the continents to recede. Simultaneously, upward surging subterranean water was choked off. As the floodwater drained off the continents, every continental basin was left brimful of water, producing many post-flood lakes.
Scientists are also scratching their heads over another recent discovery. On the Kola Peninsula in northern Russia, they have created the world's deepest hole, extending to a depth of 7.5 miles. At this depth, what they expected to find was a layer of basalt, Earth's most common type of volcanic rock. What they actually discovered was something entirely different.
The hole didn't reach the basalt underlying the granite continents, but to everyone's surprise, they did reach hot, salty water flowing through crushed granite.
Special thanks to Dr. Walt Brown, who took a few minutes of his time to talk to me. It was very much an honor. I've actually owned 2 copies of his book, In the Beginning, and would highly recommend it. The thing is fantastic. Pretty certain that you're going to agree that I saved the very best for last in this video. I wouldn't have it any other way than to end this God in a nutshell with the words from the ancient texts of the Book of Enoch.
And after some days, my son Methuselah took a wife for his son Lamech, and she became pregnant by him and bore a son. And his body was white as snow, and red as the blooming of a rose. And the hair of his head and his long locks were white as wool, and his eyes beautiful. And when he opened his eyes, he lighted up the whole house like the sun. And the whole house was very bright. And thereupon he arose in the hands of the midwife, opened his mouth, and conversed with the Lord of righteousness. And his father Lamech was afraid of him, and fled, and came to his father Methuselah. And he said unto him, I have begotten a strange son, diverse from and unlike man, and resembling the sons of God in heaven. And his nature is different, and he is not like us. And behold, I have come to thee, that thou mayest make known to me the truth. And I, Enoch, answered and said to him, The Lord will do a new thing on the earth, and this I have already seen in a vision. Yea, there shall come a great destruction over the whole earth, and there shall be a deluge. And this son who has been born unto you shall be left on the earth, and his 3 children shall be saved with him. When all mankind that are on the earth shall die, he and his son shall be saved. And now make known to thy son Lamech that he who has been born to him is in truth his son, and call his name Noah.
I told you it ended good. Update on the Theory of Everything book. I'm trying to have that ready in time for Christmas 2012. Of course, before then, Book Thieves is available. The true story of the time when I committed a safe robbery on the television pastor Mike Murdoch in 1999.
How do you get to Earth's flat?
People can change. What? Don't look at me like that. Like you're a perfect angel. Tuck some clips in the back of this video about that embarrassing time period in my life and the safe robbery of the television pastor, as well as if you look down there on the bottom of your screen, that little logo, Nutshell News. If you're a writer or a blogger, somebody that just likes posting stuff online, go over to that website and click the Submit Content button, become a writer for Nutshell News. Whew. Thanks for coming with me on that ride, guys. That was the Book of Enoch. Here's your clips. This is Trey Smith of the God in a Nutshell Project. If you thought that video was good, you may want to subscribe to this channel. Tucked a couple of clips in the back of this video. I think you're going to like them. I'd like to show you this. This is the
now you're not even understanding what I'm saying.
For the book that's going to come out. This will be the next one.
What I'm saying in that is religion is small-minded.
This book here, and every page of this thing, called The Theory of Everything, high definition graphics, just beautifully laid out. I mean, not only would it look great on a coffee table, but it's
read the Book
like
of
all my
Enoch
stuff. It's got
and see just how much your pastors or whoever hell ain't telling you.
Dynamics and physics by any natural cause, this whole place should be one enormous superposition of randomness and nothing definite ever happened. And yet it's completely the reverse of that. I mean, this is so the reverse of that it's almost like the universe itself is this enormous Swiss watch of mechanics that you really don't even understand.
I don't see why people think it's flat.
The iceberg of you winning the lottery
if it was flat,
every single day,
couldn't go away around the planet
for the next 1,000 years, does not even scratch the surface of the statistical odds of one single cell of this place. How does that happen on its own? No, this gets more intense. This whole place is made of little bitty machines all doing things.
In the
And science is a man-made thing, and man is fucking retarded.
Crowding the cell.
And that's a lot of the problem. Man's fucking retarded. We don't know shit because everything's a closed mind. So, if you read the book of Enoch, it tell like, where does it say in the Bible that the earth is flat?
Still be light years away from the technology employed in a single cell. So here we are, the unusual little blue rock called Earth, in an enormous black abyss called space.
The earth was flat.
Anybody else find that kind of strange?
You could not drive east to west. You cannot drive east permanent and circle the whole planet, and that you can do. Therefore, it is round. If it was flat, right? Science is from science is a Satanist thing. People tell you, oh, you can't go north, you can't go south. You can go either direction and go all the way around the planet in a huge circle, both directions. It's not flat. You think it's flat because of what scientists tell you. Unfortunately, science are fucking stupid.
Is connected to everything else. These are called prerequisites.
Everything is connected. Like I said, just religion is what makes people not see shit because it's, oh, this is how it is. Oh, this is how. That's not how it is. There's a lot more to it.
Something completely intangible controlling something very.
And that is what is hilarious.
Fingertips to the toes to the tongue and every part in between. Place where what's above translates into what's below.
Those that will go to the abyss.
The spot with 2 dimensions.
Nobody knows where they're going. You can think you're going to heaven, or you can think you don't know.
Here's my favorite part, and it's just like a precious gem. You know, they'll make these grand computer
Christians tell you marijuana's bad for you. It's a Satanist thing. The guy created marijuana.
It doesn't work in practical application.
Marijuana was used to anoint priests and everything. And kings.
The part that'll really kick you.
Fictional. You can think he's fictional all you want. You can't tell me you think all this shit just frequently happens. Because according to scientists, or whoever the hell you want to believe.
And I've got one more thing to show you. Here's the clip. I was able to buy a beautiful.
This stuff is too. I don't think you're right, Rich. Pretty much off the mark there.
A little bit later, bought a third jet. Bought them all 3.
That's Mike Murdoch, roughly $25 million a year guy and scheming buddy of Benny Hinn.
Atmosphere is what the atmosphere. It's called gravity, man. Everything is made up of particles and molecules. Everything. Gravity is a magnetic force. It's different. And that's what keeps this here. And we're in a certain, every planet has a gravity. Every planet has an atmosphere.
He understands that. The Bible said he knew we were but flesh.
No. Christians said cannabis was bad.
Now this is the exact spot on the mansion property.
Walk into a church smoking some weed, see what happens. They would throw you the hell out because you're committing a sin.
I want you to become a faith partner. This is 12 months.
I've had these discussions with pastors and they keep losing.
Mike Murdoch was the darkest dude with his
I trust me
that I ever met in my whole life.
more than some man behind a pulpit. And you proved me with facts and evidence you can't prove to me that what you say, you have a belief, correct? You believe religion is real, is fake. You believe whatever you believe. A belief is what gets you through. Everything you see going on now is not just freak accidents here and there that keep going on.
So here we are at the most pristine
people that believe in God. Christians is kind of a stretch. Nowadays, that word's kind of meaningless to a point.
It got intense.
Jesus is kind of meaningless to a point. the religion thing is just meaningless because you have Catholics and it's senseless. It's absolutely senseless. It puts you in a set where your head is you're this. God is not this. God is this. Whatever you want to call him, he's this, not this. That's like Catholics, Baptists. That's how they think. Oh, it's this way, it's this way, it's this way. They all argue with each other. They don't fail to realize they don't use their brains to think in a wide picture as to what they're half-breed. And your point? What's that got to do? You ain't pure blood. I'll tell you that right now. And be right. Go take a DNA test. Guarantee you your ass ain't pure. There ain't nobody on this planet pure blood. If you believe that there is a pure race, you're crazy. There is no pure race on this planet. None. Okay. Well, you'll find out eventually. Maybe. I doubt it. Tell you the way you're already talking, you don't know what you're talking about. And that half-breed shit don't bother me, dumbass. That's a lot of the problem with a lot of people. Is you're small-minded. You're a small-minded individual. It's not a fairy tale, dumbass.
See a water scooter, win a water scooter.
You can believe what you want.
In many ways, gives you answers right now. Yeah, without the need to sort of.
Doesn't mean what you think is true. How do you know you don't believe in a fucking fairy tale? You have no proof that what you believe is absolute and truthful. You can't prove it. You stand as much. What's up, man? You stand about as much chance of proving what you say is real as I do. And more than likely, you would lose a debate. I ain't one of these Bible thumping Christians. I'm somebody who actually gets into it and looks shit up and finds shit out. I don't fuck around with that closed-minded shit. That's cool, man. You can see how this is going. It's not rebellion, man. The only thing I'm rebelling against is these fake people who stand up behind these pulpits and lie to you every week. Those are the people you rebel against. Them same people that tell you to look for God, find God, da-da-da-da-da. Space is the biggest lie ever. Okay. Well, you tell me, how is it the biggest lie ever? Have you ever been there? Nope. And once again, small-minded. So I'm trying to tell you. You gotta get out of that little bubble you in. That's right. There is a creator, God. And for people to come in here, prove God exists. The burden of proof ain't on me. I ain't gotta prove shit. It's a belief. I believe he's real. None of this stuff going on nowadays is just, that Big Bang is. That's what I'm saying. You don't think. Like, if you believe in the Big Bang, nah. Gravity. Remember, everything is made of particles and molecules. Gravity keeps that shit here. Your body has iron in it. They're just certain things. Well, God does exist, and he does make shit poor and ugly because he uses the least and nastiest of things to get his point across to people like you. And whether you believe it or not, Doesn't matter to me. I could care less. Yeah, that's a fucking movie, dude. That ain't shit. I don't put limitations on God. And when science quits changing its mind, and like the Big Bang, that shit's falling apart. Evolution, that's falling apart. All these man-made ideas y'all got up are just being crushed left and right. If you believe in a higher power, that means you believe in a being that's done all this. Oh, Jesus, dumbasses like you in here. I can already see what I'm going to have to do. Where I think we get cheese from. Where I think we get cheese from. Type 2 diabetic. Motherfucker, ain't no way in hell my ass is diabetic. Type 2 diabetic. Motherfucker.
Power off.
That's amazing. Exactly. And you got people like this dude in here who just... See, this is a troll. That's all you are, is troll. Exactly. You got people like this dude in here. See, this is half the problem. Why is there so many? Because all them got, listen, Thomas, or who was it? Jim. Let me explain to you why there's so many. If you look all over the planet and you listen to what everybody says, even the Greek mythologies and all of it, you can't sit here for a second and listen to the Book of Enoch. I am not an unbeliever. That's the problem. See, you're already judging. You're committing a sin right now by judging, you dumbass. Gravity is... Okay. You must not have attended school and finished it. And it is a belief because it... Oh, you people, I swear, man. God believers are retards. Well, I hate to tell you this, but you might not make it nowhere. I ain't got no dabs, dumbass. Why you keep calling me demon and shit? You seem to have a little bit of a problem there, Abaddon. You really need to go and check out some shit, because I'm telling you, you seem like one of the ones that believe what the man behind the pulpit is telling you. More than likely, it seems like you might be a Muslim. I don't know. Yes, that arrow is pointing at an asshole. I am a dick from hell, dude. And exactly. That's what I'm saying. Everything these people are in here running their mouths about is something they don't know about. They have no idea. They put these small limitations on God. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's that. Man, motherfucker's everything. And these people come in here, and this is what they do. You don't know what you're talking about. How do you know? How upset are you going to be? You have a mansion floating in the abyss. One that's not floating, you idiot. It's on a whole different plane. Religion is a man-made concept. That's why it says religion is small-minded. Just like talking to you right now. I'm going to explain shit. If you understood what God was and what he was capable of doing, even the Satanists, they believe in Satan. You can't have one without the other. Yeah. And that's exactly what most of these are, is opinions. And neither do you, stupid. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You tell me I don't have to. You ain't got it all either. So I don't know why you're going around saying the shit you saying. You came in here. You don't like what I'm saying? Take your fuck ass out. Y'all be really pissed off, man. Shit comes to an end, and you get up here and you realize that you didn't know nothing that you were talking about. And how do you? And what makes you think God is a man-made concept? Do you believe in the Big Bang? God has been around longer than the Big Bang. That's something some dude thought up on acid. Y'all don't pay attention to anything. That's what I'm saying. Closed-minded. If you read the beginning of the Bible, and you take what they tell you about the Big Bang, you put them in, it's the exact same goddamn thing. One just minus a person. That's what I don't get. How you guys can't put them two together. You're so against religion, you're not willing to listen to the other side and see how much of what they say and how much of what you say match up. Yeah, I got a server for you, Abaddon. You don't know what's a lie. Ain't nothing. You ain't gonna baptize me with shit, Moon. Baptizing has absolutely nothing to do with it. It's something you do because you feel bad. You're a living word. See, right there, you even saying you're a living word is a sin. You're not a living word. You're a fucking human being. You're just as fucked up as most everybody else. No, I understand what baptism is. It's exactly what that is. You're the one that's not exactly... See, you're sitting here judging. The entire time you've been in here running your mouth judging. Yep. See you later, Cooper. Have fun with the porn. Straight in here, you talking about you a religious man, but you straight in here judging the entire time. Every time you make a comment on there about me, the way you're doing it, you're judging. You've done committed a shit ton of sins in here already. Stop while you can. It's amazing how ignorant some people are. And to come in judging somebody else's stream. Yeah, nah, I don't lay my back for no fucking buddy. That's all I ever want. You can't even spell exercise right, you retarded ass. You need some help, man. Can't sit here and listen to Moon no more. I think he's a Satanist. Don't know. And that's exactly what it is. That dollar's evil. But unfortunately, in this world, you kind of need it to get on. I don't think I've earned a dollar in almost 10 years. Gotten by this long on my own house and everything, on my own house and everything. Got more now being hurt, not being able to work, no money, no nothing, than I did when I could work. That right there in itself tells me there's a God. And every time you go to churches, how many times they pass some place in church? Fucking plenty. Pastor driving a better car than you, living larger than you, and he ain't supposed to be. And if you question him about it, he don't never want to answer any questions you got for his ass. But he sure enough wants you to not question him. He just wants you to do what he says. That's why I don't go to church no more. Don't make no sense to go to a church, listen to some man lie to your face. Not better than mine? What's not better than yours? What's not better than yours, Jim? That's what I'm taught. That's why that says this. His car. Well, took me a long time to learn you don't have to give 10%. You ain't give your money to the church. You can help somebody else out. That's what you can do. Because that's what they're supposed to do, but they don't. So, you do it on your own. I do it all the time whenever I have money. That's how you're supposed to do stuff. You're supposed to help out your fellow man. Not come in their stream and bash the piss out of them and judge them. It's not what you're supposed to do. Which is what was going on in here until I started booting people. As far as I know, hell, they still might be in here. I don't know. Lincolns are nice cars. But, like I said, I don't care what anybody else believes. Doesn't matter to me. I know what I believe. And I'm fine with it. Don't really give a shit. I don't bother you. You don't bother me. I gave up for a while, but like I said, I got into, I just got sick and tired of going to places and hearing other people run their mouths, and then come to find out they don't know what the hell they're talking about. And I haven't trusted a pastor since I was 14. Didn't trust my parents when I was 7 after I found out I was adopted. And sure as hell don't believe a cop, trust a judge, or a politician. I don't believe nobody. I live my life. That's it. I come in here and do this. Every once in a while I find people that, believe the same way. Every once in a while you find people that don't. More often than not, you find people that don't, because everybody's closed-minded. I don't see right in front. I see down the fucking street. I don't see next door. I don't care what's in your yard. Don't matter to me. You get what you need. Yep, there's two sides to every fence. Hell, you might think my grass is greener. I might think yours is greener. I don't really give a shit if I got grass. If I didn't have it, that'd be one less thing to worry about. That's why I don't see why these people come in. Some of these people come in here, you start doing stuff like this, and it wasn't even really about, being. I didn't want to get into it. Well, I didn't. Yeah, I kind of did. But like I said, I've had phone calls, man. There's streams where I've called churches, talked to priests, different religions, colleges that teach the shit. Exactly. That's one less headache. Hell, I'm so bad now. We get somebody come by here cut ours. I don't even cut my own grass anymore. I have somebody else do it. I'm gonna fuck with that shit. I ain't got time for it. Can't do it no more anyways. You sit here and go to church, you hear them preach anymore. Now they preach that prosperity. That's not how it is. So I'll have a discussion like this with anybody. It don't matter to me. I'm not out to prove you're wrong. I'm not out to prove you're right. I'm not saying I'm 100% right, because I know I'm not. But I know I'm a lot smarter than fucking half the way people think and talk nowadays. Gotta go back to streaming. It's not bad, except for all the trolls. And I've done kicked 6 or 7 of them out of here. After a while, they get tired of it and leave. You ain't got to deal with them no more. I can't even sleep right now. I'm in so much pain. I ain't got no meds. I won't take pills because a man made them. Growing a plant is different than creating a pill. I'd rather deal with a plant than a pill. That's why I just don't put up with the dumb shit with people half the time. I'll put up with it for a little bit. After a while, I just fucking get rid of it. I ain't got no time for that shit. I don't trust the schools. I don't trust nobody. Where you from, Jim? He doesn't need it. He wants you to give it to the church so the church can do what he wants done here. Because churches are how he used to bring people in. PA, oh, you right next door. I'm in Buckeye. And he don't, and the thing is that that's what I'm saying. Churches tell you, oh, you gotta give God 10%. No, you don't get. Churches don't do what they're supposed to do with your money anyways. You take 10% you get $100. You take $10. You go out on the street. You see somebody on the street that needs $10. You give them $10. If somebody needs a shirt, you give them a shirt. You help other people. That's what you're supposed to do. Your job in life is to help your fellow man. That's what you're supposed to do. It's just a lot easier if you understand what a church is. And churches nowadays are dens of Satan. That's all they have there for is that money. They don't give a shit about you. They just want you to give that money. I don't go to church. I won't step foot in one of them buildings. It's a waste of time to go in there and listen to some man lie to your face. And then if you ask him a question, he gets offended. It's not worth it. It makes no sense whatsoever. It's like people talk about, like, they believe in aliens and stuff like that. And that shit is not what you think it is. It's alien, all right, but it ain't what you think it is. Churches, they're organized rackets that don't pay taxes. Exactly, non-profit. That's why you go to them. They have these big cafes in them now, these big old huge bands, everything. It's fucking ridiculous. It ain't supposed to be like that. And we get what is it? The ones that come by knocking on your door. We get them come by here every once in a while. They avoid my house now. They used to come in here and I used to eat them up. They leave up out of here pissed off because they talked themselves into a corner and couldn't get the hell out of it. Every church is a prophet church. I've never seen one that's not. Yeah, they'll sit here and tell you, oh, you shouldn't do this, oh, you shouldn't do that. Why not? Exactly. Those are part of the fallen. Those are part of them fallen angels, or whatever you want to call them. I just call them demons. Think about all these people that spent all this money getting smart, and then when you listen to them, you realize they're actually dumber than they were before they got the education. Just ridiculous what people go through nowadays. And it's not getting any better. Now look, it doesn't matter what you belong to. If you're a Catholic, you closed-minded. You're a Baptist, you closed-minded. It doesn't matter. They're all closed-minded. The Jews are completely closed-minded. Everybody puts these little limitations on a man they say they believe in that created everything. It's like if everybody would just shut the hell up, quit the arguing, and listen to what each other had to say, they'd all realize, well, they believe just like me. They just, the way they do it's different. And what they call it, it's messed up. Like what? Sioux. S-I-O-U-X. The Indian name. Sioux. That means serpent. That should tell you something right there. There's another one means snake. It's just weird. Each word means different things, but they all pertain to snakes and shit. So just get rid of them ones that was in here. I can't take that crap. I don't mind having a discussion with somebody, but man, when you start judging somebody, that's a problem. I don't need none of that. I'm not one you want to judge, because you probably just as fucked up as me. No, you didn't see an alien. You seen a demon's what you think you saw. I mean, I seen, what was it? About 5 years ago, I seen a big old huge ball of fire shoot through the sky. Slow, and just cruising. Not even moving fast, just cruising. Plain as day. Wife, nobody believed me until they came outside and seen it. Hey, you seen aliens? No, that's not an alien, that's a demon. That's what he wanted you to see. See, these are the people that I'd boot out of here. These dumbasses like this. We are watching you. Flat out troll. So, you do that. So I just don't listen to them. It's that simple. This evil technology that we have is good for blocking people that are just retarded. So in case you're wondering, watching, you're blocked. You can watch, you just can't respond. So I just don't want to hear your shit. Need to. I ain't got time for that crap. You want to be ignorant? Go someplace else. Don't need it. Got enough stress in my life. Don't need your idiotic shit jumping in here too. Can't even spell father right. I'm gonna come in here and not be able to spell. How you gonna pull that shit? Trying to be funny, idiot. Some people just don't make no sense. Come in, first thing they want to do is give you hell over the way you believe, the way you think, everything else. And then get mad at you when you're trying to explain what you're talking about. Absolutely amazing. I just don't understand how people can sit here and they come in here and I don't know. I don't know why it's funny to people to do that. Don't make no sense. I want to sit here and break what you believe in, and then nah, you're not going to sit there and break somebody and get them to change their opinion to what you think. If you're going to sit there and call them stupid, retarded, call them demons, and whatever the hell else. It's ridiculous. I call people dumbasses because they're too stupid to fucking open their heads up and actually pay attention to what the hell they're saying and hearing and everything else. It's ridiculous. It's like, hell, that Bible everybody reads, that's not even a complete book. It's not even translated properly. So it's already not accurate. I've been pissed off too many pastors. I've been kicked out of so many churches for the way I think. Because they get mad. Just because they get mad and kick you. If they see somebody who they think is in problem, you're supposed to try and change their mind, swing them to the right. You know, get them to think right, get them to believe right. They don't do that. Instead, they get pissed at you, tell you, oh, the devil knows the Bible. Well, you know what? Keep that in mind next time you step around that pulpit and preach it. The devil knows the Bible, so don't you. You the devil. You know, you tell people to go look for God, find him, ask questions, you know, whatever. You do that, and then when you have questions, they get pissed. It's ridiculous. I'm not going to sit here and listen to that shit go on. If you're getting mad over a question, you need to get yourself straight. Don't make no sense. Can't even share ideas with nobody on this planet no more. Everybody's done losing their mind. Now these people will talk that shit with that religion will wake up one day and realize they done fucked up. The time they realize they done fucked up, it's gonna be too damn late. Then what they gonna do? You're gonna sit there and stress out. Oh, I should have done this. Oh, I should have done that. Yeah, too late, man. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning and I can't sleep. This is gonna be great. I'm gonna be in a good mood tomorrow. Alright. Well, I'm gonna find me something else to do. No, he didn't. He didn't write it. He compelled people to write it. So So that's half the problem with people, and they get mad about religion. Oh, God didn't. Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of things God didn't do. God had other people do it for him. Because the only way to get through to other people is to have them see somebody else do it. And he couldn't pass along the stuff from back then if he didn't have other people write it. What happened was he got screwed up was when man started interpreting what they were reading because too fucking stupid to pay attention and put some thought into it. Now that book you read, half the word, a bunch of the words in there ain't even what they're supposed to be. They just, this sounds better this way. And it's just ridiculous. But that's neither here nor there. Why would the Creator? He didn't need us to. He had us. Because people are so stupid. Think about it. Think about half the stuff that... Just think about it. How else would you have known? He wasn't going to sit there and write it. He had people live it that wrote it. He used people to do it. That's what I'm saying. Everybody's like, oh, there's... it's like this. Everybody sits there and tells you, oh, you have free will. People in churches or whatever, they all tell you you got free will. You don't have free will. Because even in that book they have you read out of, the one they believe in 100%, it tells you that God knew you before you were born. That means you were already in heaven. You're a soul. You were already there. You were set about it for a certain time to accomplish certain things, to influence people a certain way. That's what you were born and raised for. So if you're already in heaven, then all it takes is a belief. It's like getting a hotel reservation. You make the reservation, you have to go in and check in. Well, you believe in it and accepting that basically, I believe God did this, I believe Jesus was for that, all that. You punch in your ticket for your hotel room. That's exactly what it is. People say, oh, there's only one heaven. Oh, yeah, you can believe that. Well, guess what? What happens when you die? Listen to that book of Enoch. That give you a better idea of what hell is. It describes heaven. It describes all kinds of stuff to you. And when you hear it, you're just like, oh, this is science fiction. If somebody made a movie with the book of Enoch, it'd be loaded. It would be loaded. Because it sounds like a science fiction novel. And he describes he says in that book of Enoch, when you die, there's 3 parts. Catholics call it purgatory. There's 3 parts. There's people that are 100% believe. Oh, whatever. He ain't gonna be reborn as shit. That motherfucker's going straight to hell. Go ahead and do this so I ain't gotta listen to your ass no more. You can sit in here and listen, but I ain't gotta watch you post that dumb shit. If he comes back reborn, he's coming back as the Antichrist is what he's gonna come back as. Anton LaVey, ignorant ass. I just don't understand how you consider you believe in Satan and everything, but you doubt God exists. And that's what's amazing. If you don't doubt that God exists, you know he does, because you believe in Satan. How you pulling that one off? And that's where you screw up. I understand Satan's real. I I have a belief in God. I believe both of them. I also believe that God's more powerful than Satan. He done lost once. Man, he done lost a couple times. So, I don't know. I just think people need to just do some research, figure some shit out, instead of having this one thought process that you got. It's kind of the dumbest thing on the face of the earth to have that kind of ignorance about yourself, that you're too closed-minded to compare and look at everything that's going on. You know, you want to find the truth, you got to look for it. If you're taking the word of somebody else, you're just too lazy and too simple-minded to do your own research. No matter how much you think you know about God or Satan or whatever, you still don't know a tenth of what you think you need to know. You only use 10% of your brain. Why would you shut down that 10% to 8 or 7 or 9? Use the whole 10% you got. You don't use your whole brain. Nobody nowadays does. They wonder like how they build the pyramids. Like, yeah, it's called giants, motherfucker. Because the earth is not for... All this is here. All this is here is a test. And this is what I'm saying. They sit here and tell you, because this is Satan's plane. This is the earth is Satan's plane. This is where he's at. That's why you see all this crazy shit going on. That's why they sit and tell you, oh, you got free will. No, you don't. You ain't got no free will. Your life is predetermined. God already knows where you're going to wind up. Before you're born, he knows if you're going to wind up there. You don't know. He knows. I don't sit here and judge nobody. I just think you just closed-minded and simple. Kind of retarded. When you think a certain way. Satan has dominion over the earth. God created it. Satan fucked it up. God let him have it. We are here to be tested. And what he's testing is whether you believe in him or not. You believe in him, your reward is after you die. Not while you're here. Sometimes while you're here, you get stuff to prove a point. Most of the time, you don't. He wants you to struggle, so you give up your unruly ways, or whatever you want to call it, and then he's hoping that you put all your faith in him, and then he'll just take over and shit will happen. I haven't had a job in 10 years. In almost 10 years, I ain't been able to work. And in 10 years, I've never missed a meal. Nothing. I have a house. Might not be the greatest thing in the world, but you know what? It's a roof over my head. And it's paid for. So, figure that one out. I don't believe in religion either. You ain't offending me, dude. Trust me, I understand. I understand wholeheartedly. Ain't no offense. I don't believe in it. I don't believe Catholics. I don't believe Baptists. I don't believe none of them. And like I said, they all this one way. I don't believe none of them. I believe what I believe. When you first get into religion, you're introduced to it. And then you start hearing them tell you, you need to search him out. You need to find out about God. You need to discover God. Well, I've done that. And I've discovered that half the people don't know what they're talking about. And the ones that think they know what they're talking about, they in it for this, and they twist it to get this out of you. And not, I'll give my money to somebody that needs it. I won't give it to a church. A church don't need it. Everything you go through for a reason. Every decision you make leads you to a different, you know what I'm saying? It leads you where you're supposed to go. You might think you're making your own decisions. You're not. Life is already determined. Some people call it predestination, but I don't. I just think it's just, this is what it is. You can either, the only free choice you got is A, believe or not. That's the choice. Well, and I said, and that's on you. But like I said, that even you thinking like that, you have a curiosity maybe about why the shit is the way, like the Big Bang. They tell you there was an explosion, and everything was. The Bible, God spoke it, there was light. Well, an explosion involves light. God spoke it, and it happened. That's your explosion. The only thing with these people that believe in evolution, they take God out of it and say, oh, this is just freak accident. Ain't no freak accident this long. Like these people say, it's impossible. If that was the case, everybody on this planet would hit the lottery. And that's exactly how it is. You have to, if you don't believe in something, you're going to be a depressed individual. You get all them people out here like, they say, no, I want money, I want this, I want that. Why? It's the more money you got, the more problems you got. The more attention you attract. The more attention you attract, the harder your struggle is going to be. You can't take it to heaven, so why do you need it? When you're dead, it ain't going to do you no good. So why do you need it? You need enough to get by. That's all you need. Ain't no sense in having, granted, it'd be nice to have a bunch of money. It would be really nice. Can't say it wouldn't be. But I wouldn't want the problems associated with it. If I got the money, it would be gone quick. I'd be helping too many people. You'd be surprised just paying somebody's college tuition off, and you know what I'm saying? Paying somebody's car note off, whatever. That's what I would be doing. If I had money, that's what I would do. I would make sure I had what I had to have. I'd make sure my kids had what they needed to have. Whatever I had left, I would give to everybody else. Sometimes God gives people what they need just to see how stupid they'll be when they get what they want. Hell, I was on the road. We had a problem here at the house. It wasn't even this house, it was at my other house. Daughter caught a pedophile molesting one of her friends. Turned him in. All kinds of shit happened. I prayed to God on Thursday night. Just let me be home for a little while to take care of this. I got up the next morning, crippled, disabled, back all blowed the hell out because I tried to climb up in my semi-truck. I ain't worked a day since. I got another house. That's what I'm saying. I have more of a belief in God than most people. I understand him, man. I don't ask him for anything anymore. Because you ask him for something, whatever you asking for is not going to be what you think you should get. It's going to be a lot more. And don't ever ask to be home, because he'll snatch your shit up. I drove a truck for about 10 years. Never once did I crack a map, but I got where I had to go every day. Never had, There isn't an afterlife. There's no such thing as an afterlife. Once this life is gone, you're dead. Your soul goes on. This body is just a mechanism carrying around. You know what I'm saying? That's all this is. All this will go away. All of it. It's what's on the inside. Your soul. That's what goes on. This is just a confined space to live in a 3D world. That's all this is. You live your life here to make a better life after you're gone. That's all there is to it. And the sooner people realize that, the better off they will be. You can stay here and be happy, but you ain't gonna live forever. We're all equal when we come in this world. We're all equal when we go out. Your grave will be the same size as mine. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Everybody winds up the same way. We start out the same way. We end the same way. All you can hope is that you don't struggle a whole lot. That's all you can hope for. You gotta hope your needs are met. And that's all you should care about. You shouldn't care about what the guy next to you has. Shouldn't care about what you going through. Because somebody's always got it worse. It's probably getting old. I have a hard enough time getting around now. It's because I'm old. When I was younger, didn't have these thoughts. When I'm older, that's all I think about. Alright, so I'm going to play some video games, enjoy some earthly entertainment that I'm no good at. So, I'll be back on here tomorrow. Y'all take it easy.